The other day, our first day in Macon, I came and I talked about the Allman Brothers Band. I went to Rose Hill Cemetery in Macon, where 4 members of the Allman Brothers Band lay. I have learned of another story that is very gloomy today. It's raining, it's very overcast, and we're going to talk about one of Georgia's worst mass murders. It was an axe murder. 9 people died. They're all from one family. Well, they're buried here in the cemetery, the same exact cemetery as the Allman Brothers. There's not a lot to it, but I thought it was an interesting story that you guys might enjoy. The 9 victims are buried right here in Rose Hill Cemetery. This is the resting place of 4 members of the Allman Brothers Band. Here's the memorial to our Confederate dead, 1861 to 1865. We're gonna pass all that by. We're even gonna pass by, this is their old Hebrew burial ground that was established in 1844. We're passing all of it. Now, this cemetery puts off some serious, like, creep out vibes, and I'm assuming it's just because it's been here for so long. You know, there's some graves that are so run down you don't even know that there's graves there until you walk right up on it. But for this story today, we are going to be going right here to this patch of graves. There's 9 of them. 4 back there on the back row. These 4 and this one here. But for a long time, you didn't even know these graves were here. I mean, they had gotten so covered up, they didn't have any markers on them. But these 9 people were part of, well, it's actually still to this day one of Georgia's worst mass murders. All of these people were chopped up and hacked up to death with an axe. Only one member of their family survived, and it was a son, Tom Woolfolk. You see, it says Woolfolk here on the steps leading down to it. Maddie Woolfolk, 1885, 2 years old. Charlie Woolfolk was 1882 to 87, 5 years old. Wow. All 9 members of the Woolfolk family who were murdered, they're all here at Rose Hill Cemetery. Now, Tom, he is in a separate location in Athens, Georgia. But the 9 members who lay here in Macon are Richard Woolfolk, who also fought in the Civil War, his wife, Maddie Woolfolk, and their 6 children, Richard F. Jr., Pearl, Annie, Rosebud, Charlie, and baby Maddie. So I know it occurred off in the woods here. I'm right off of Highway 74 right outside of Macon, Georgia. I could not find like an exact location. I could not get GPS coordinates. I know that they have found the house where this horrible crime took place, but they have not released the exact coordinates. I just have a generalized area. I know it's somewhere in these woods here. I've walked back a few minutes and didn't see anything, couldn't find any remnants of it, but I know it's back here somewhere. Basically, they say Tom Woolfolk was psychotic, like he was mentally crazy. In the months leading up to the brutal murders, his crazy psychotic behavior began to draw attention. Well, In the early morning hours of August the 6th, 9 people were slain here in these woods with an axe. The entire Woolfolk family, everyone except for Tom. Now, Tom, later that morning, he ran to a neighbor's house to seek help. He claims to have struggled from some unknown intruders, and the only reason he escaped alive is because he jumped through a window and ran. They did find the murder weapon, a short-handled axe. It was covered with human tissue and hair and blood. It was found in one of the rooms of the house. They even had a few witnesses come forward who said that they saw Tom Woolfolk making baskets, cutting down limbs with that same exact axe the next day. Police are called to the house. Tom Woolfolk is arrested for the murders, and he's taken to the county jail here in Macon. Now, the sheriff, during his inquest of these murders, he actually came and he dragged the well, and he found a bloody shirt and a bloody pair of pants that belonged to Tom. Tom Woolfolk was indicted on 9 counts of murder. He goes on trial. After 12 minutes of deliberation, Tom is found guilty by a jury and sentenced to death. A year later, though, the Georgia Supreme Court reversed that murder conviction and death sentence. So Tom had to go through trial again. This time, after 45 minutes of deliberation, the jury convicts Tom again, and he's sentenced to death a second time. The Georgia Supreme Court, instead of overturning it, this time they affirm his murder conviction. And at 1:30 p.m. on October the 29th of 1890, Tom Woolfolk is hanged in front of a crowd of about 10,000 people in Perry County. Now, the farmhouse, the murder home, actually stood for quite a few years after that. In 1909, it was used by like a bicycle group, and then sometime after that, it burned down. But there are still some remnants of it somewhere out here in these woods. Supposedly the well is still standing, and a chimney from that farmhouse. But I tried to find it, and I just couldn't. I don't have an exact location. I only have a generalized location, and I tried to find it and couldn't, unfortunately. Now, some years later, a farmhand who he stopped by the family farm, and he was like he was a drifter. He asked if they had any work he could do, and he was here supposedly on the farm at the time. Many years after Tom had already been hung for these murders, he came forward and said that he actually committed the murders. And he provided quite a few details that only the killer would know. His accounts were not taken seriously, I guess you could say. The state of Georgia or whoever, they still believed that Tom was the murderer. They do not believe they hung the wrong man. But maybe Tom and this other guy worked together. Who knows? Who knows? This, like I said, this continues to be Georgia's worst mass murder to this day. 9 people butchered with an axe. An entire family wiped out. Well, almost. You consider the entire family, everyone except for Tom was wiped out, and then Tom was hung. So, I mean, an entire family, an entire generation ended right here, August the 6th, 1887. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible, the things that people do. Some of the things that people do amaze me. You know, on this channel, we talk about some of the sick stuff that people do, in the true crime world, like Chris Watts, and you know, one case that always stands out in my mind is the All-Day family murders that I did the story on. That case stands out in my mind because in that situation, that was another instance that a whole family was wiped out. But the things that those people endured at the hands of another human being, just like in this instance, it's absolutely horrendous. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. If you ever come here to see the graves of the Allman Brothers, if you look for this monument here for the Blunt family, who passed away 1941 and 1955 during World War II. Look for this monument here, and it's right here in the bend. That's the Woolfolk graves. They're right here in the bend past this monument. There's a train going by down here on the tracks. Right down here below us is the Elizabeth Reed grave. It's straight back from that almost. So that's gonna do it for this video today from the cemetery here in Macon, Georgia, Rose Hill Cemetery, and the Woolfolk family murders. Like I said, one of Georgia's worst mass murders. An entire family was taken out in one night. It's horrible. Thank you all for watching. If you're new here, go down, click that subscribe button, take it a step further, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. If you want to help support the channel, you can check out the links down below in the description box. Thank you all. I will see you again tomorrow. I actually have the next couple of videos are going to be true crime videos, and they are pretty interesting. So make sure you have that notification bell hit and you look out for those. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Please stay safe and stay healthy.